Welcome back to the College Football Top 12 Review, Top 12 Preview for Week 11 to Week 12. This is for all the people that don't have time to watch all the games like myself, but want to stay informed so they can know who to root for and who's upcoming on the Top 12 leaderboard for the college playoffs coming up soon. So let's get into it. Week 11, Top 12 Review. We had Nevada versus number 12, Boise State. Boise State won 21-28. But unfortunately, as we're going to see later, they got knocked out to 13. Number 11, Alabama versus 14, LSU. LSU did not upset Alabama and lost 42-13 there. So LSU looks like they might get eliminated from all potential thought in the top 12 in the future. Florida State versus number 10, Notre Dame. And Notre Dame holds on 52. No, doesn't hold on. They decimate Florida State at 42 to number 3, or 42-3. Golly, number 9 BYU versus Utah, and Utah loses 22-21. So barely a loss there. And as I see, I know everybody has complaints about the rankings, but BYU barely beat Utah. And I didn't watch the game, but Nevada and Boise State, BYU actually gets a bump up. Boise State actually gets a bump down. I'm not sure how. I don't know if the games were that bad, but to me, it seems some pretty similar scores there, and yet BYU got a bump up, while Boise State got a bump down. So, however they do that, I don't know. Michigan lost to number 8 Indiana by 5. Mississippi State lost to Tennessee 33-14. Washington lost to Penn State 6-35, so a pretty big lead there for Penn State. Florida versus Texas, and Texas very much beat Florida with a score of 49-17. Georgia Tech, and I was not expecting this one. Georgia Tech beats Miami 28-23, so that's a pretty big damper on Miami's schedule there. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to reclaim themselves or not after that loss. Purdue versus number 3 Ohio State, and Ohio State wins. Complete blowout on that end. Georgia versus Ole Miss, and Georgia's dominance is over, 28-10. Let's see what happens next week. But all right, and going forward, but I mean that's down by 18 at the end, so that's a pretty big loss. So good job, Ole Miss, taking down the mighty Georgia. And Maryland versus Oregon. Does Maryland remain? Yes, they do. 39-18. But, I mean, Maryland got 18 points on Oregon, so hopefully that means there's some chinks in their armor that can be exploited once we get to the college football playoffs. Or maybe they'll go undefeated the whole way. We'll see. So this is how the top 25 rankings changed. Oregon stayed at the top. Ohio State moved up to second. Texas moved up 2 spots to number 3. Penn State moved up 2 spots to number 4. Indiana moved up 3 spots. Tennessee moved up 1. BYU moved up 2. And Josh Pate's going to be mad about that because he said, forget all military schools and Mormon schools. So let's see how BYU continues on once we get to the college football playoffs in a few weeks. Notre Dame moves up 2. I got lost. Sorry. Alabama moves up 2 to number 9. Ole Miss moves up 6 points, and rightfully so after beating Georgia. Georgia moves down 9. Yep, definitely deserve that one. Miami moves down 8. Boise State moves down 1. SMU moves down 1. Texas A&M remained at 15. Army moved up 2. Clemson moved up 2. Colorado moved up 3. Number 18 there, Colorado. Washington State moved up 1. Kansas State moved up 2 to number 20. LSU down 7. Louisville up 3. And then South Carolina we have at 23rd. Missouri at 24. And Tulane at 25. Always like seeing Tulane up there. And South Carolina definitely deserves 23, if not higher up. So we'll see how their role continues. This is the betting lines for national champion, just to kind of get an idea of how everybody's viewing the teams going forward. So Ohio State is most favored, then Oregon, Texas, and Georgia as the most favored teams. And as you can kind of see, but I mean, if you're interested in a long shot, Colorado is moving up. They're on a roll there. And yeah, I mean, SMU, if you want to take probably more of a long shot horse there for the Mustangs. And Ole Miss, again, beating Georgia. So not a bad line at 1,000. Anyway, so that's the betting lines for you. If you're interested in betting, no obligation, but we do our affiliates with I'm going to get it wrong now, Z-Code Betting. There's a link in the description if you want to check them out for any betting community and to help you make your picks. But if you don't got the money for betting, do not do it. Get rich quick schemes always fail. So only you play with house money or money that you have literally to burn. So anyways, that's kind of an overview for the top 26 future bets. So this is the week 12, top 12 preview. Miami on a bye. I got that wrong last week, so I'm sorry about that. Miami on a bye this week, though. I double checked it. Ole Miss is also on a bye, and Indiana's on a bye. So we have number 6 Tennessee versus number 11 Georgia, or later on we have number 6 Tennessee versus number 11 Georgia. So we'll see how that goes. Will Georgia reclaim themselves, or will Tennessee just blow them out? Mercer versus number 9 Alabama, Virginia versus number 8 Notre Dame. I am kind of interested in that one. I don't think I put it on my 6 to see, but I'm sort of interested how that one turns out. Kansas versus number 7 BYU. Then we have number 4 Penn State versus Purdue. Number 3 Texas versus Arkansas. Number 2 Ohio State versus Northwestern. And number 1 Oregon versus Wisconsin. So these are the top 6 to see that I could figure out. Again, number 6 Tennessee versus 11 Georgia. Definitely want to see who's going to remain there. Is Tennessee going to get bumped down with the Georgia win, or is Georgia just going to keep getting ranked lower and lower, or worse and worse? Number 24 Missouri versus 23 South Carolina. And this is interesting because South Carolina is definitely playing some good ball right now. We want to see if they continue on a roll, along with number 18 Colorado moving up the ranks. And it would be really interesting to see Colorado in the top 12 for the college football playoffs. And it would be interesting if South Carolina can get up there too. So I want to keep watching those. Number 1 Oregon versus Wisconsin. Let's see if Oregon remains their dominance. Number 3 Texas versus Arkansas. We're always interested in the Texas here with Hook'em Horns. Number 13 Boise State versus San Jose State. I threw this one as just a kind of a fun one. San Jose State is actually they're ranked 4th in their conference, but they've had some pretty close games with a 54-52 loss to Washington State earlier in their season, and then also some good wins as well on their docket. So we want to see if Boise State at least stays ranked well, or if San Jose State upsets them and gets bumped way down the rankings. So that's our 6 to see. Again, we cherish the thoughts of armchair quarterbacks here. Drop them in the comments. Was my 6 to see terrible? Probably were. And also, you got to site check me here. Y'all could have told me last week that Miami was not on a bye. I mean, come on, guys. Got to look out for me. And then also subscribe, because next time Monday we'll be back at this again. Anyways, and also dropped a new type of video about Kirk Herbstreit, kind of a college football who's who. Give me some critical thoughts on that, and whether or not it was interesting, useless, or just terribly produced, but you thought it was interesting. I'd like to know about that. Anyways, we'll see y'all next Monday.